Welcome everyone to the EOS Fireside Chat for May 17th, 2023. Another big show for you lined up with some big guests. As always, we're talking Wordproof integrates into Shopify. This is an enhancing e-commerce with EOS technology. Love to see it. Of course, we're talking EVM, adoption, coin market cap, webinar. We're expanding the reach of EOS into the wider crypto market. We're going to be reviewing the block producer call, monthly call that happened last week. And our special guest today, we've got Eyal Herzog, CEO and founder of BBS Network, that's joining us later on in the show to talk about this exciting app that runs on EOS. EOS Quest's free EOS account creation service is up and running. We've got EOS Mexico community members representing the EOS community at the upcoming CriptoMexico 2023 conference next week. Chevs will be joining us later on in the show to talk a bit about that. We're going to be talking about the Hypha DAO spaces that happened yesterday, recapping some of that conversation and highlighting some of the upcoming features of Hypha. Upland released some Go Carts this week. And then, of course, there's always the community open mic section and some off-topic banter. Maybe we'll be talking about how Tether is now buying Bitcoin with treasury payments. Always fun to hear. All right, so my name's Stephane. I'm one of the co-founders of EOS Nation. We're currently a top-ranked block producer on EOS and other Antelope chains, and I'm happy and honored to be your host for today. So this is usually the spot where I write an EOS-themed intro, but today I wanted to do something a little bit different, which includes asking all of you, over 40 people, dedicated EOS community members. I love that you guys are in here on the Fireside Chat real bright and early, and I'd love to hear from you guys what you like about the Fireside Chat, what you don't like, what you want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of. So please share your feedback in the voice chat right now, or send it to me as a private message on Discord, Telegram, Twitter, wherever you find me. Also, I want to do a quick poll in the chat right now. So, and this poll is about these Fireside intros. If you would prefer no intros and you want to just get into the hot topics right away, press 0 in the chat. If you'd like some intros but prefer them to be short, press 1. And if you like the epic long form intros, press 2 in the chat. So let's see what you guys prefer. So recap here in the chat: 0 for no intros, 1 for short intros, 2 for long epic intros. All right, I see a couple of ones in the chat. That's good. That's what I've got planned for today. So while you all are sharing your feedback in the chat, I'm going to take this intro segment time today to highlight all of the great guests we've had on the Fireside in the recent weeks. It's been really fun for me to have these great guests to talk to. And many of you have messaged me as well over the last few weeks saying how much you've enjoyed the shows recently, and especially the guests that we've had on. So in case some of you don't listen to every single Fireside every week, here's a quick recap of some of our great segments of some of our recent guests that we had. So the streak kind of started on March 8th with Sebastian, founder and CEO of Wordproof, joining us for a nice 30-minute conversation. And then on April 12th, we had David Packham, founder and CEO of Chintai, talking to us about the securitization and tokenization of securities on the blockchain. Week after that, we had Charles Holtzkamp, founder of Sentinel, talking about audits, especially the EOS EVM audit. Week after that, on April 26th, we had Idan Zuckerman, co-founder and co-CEO of Upland, shared some great updates from the hackathon, the apps that people are building, and a lot of the features that are now available in the Upland metaverse game. We also had Jonas, the co-founder of NutraSwap, on that day as well. And then last week, things got a bit out of hand with 11 guests, which included Adrian, co-founder and CEO of Wombat, Jillian Godsill, an author for Cointelegraph, Zuler from Alcor Exchange, and then we had a bunch of Hypha DAO friends as well: Alex Pratt, Joachim Stroh, Dominic Thomas, Gabriel Shaw, Mark Epstein. And then today we've got Eyal, founder and CEO of BBS Network, joining us, and Chevs as well, EOS Mexico community member, going to be talking about the upcoming Mexico conference next week. While we're at it, why not list some of our other regular contributors to the Fireside? Thank you very much to all of these people. ENF team members like Eve, Zack, Liam, and Brandon, part of the exec and communication team, always out here helping me when I need it. Bart Wyatt, Nathan James, Brian Hazard, and other ENF devs also been making an appearance on the show recently. Of course, we appreciate that. Pomelo team members are always here every week. Daniel Keys, the CEO, Andrew Ware, product owner, and Martin Brewer, our VP of marketing. Jim McKeith, you have earned yourself a server mute. And of course, all of the community members, who are our headliners every week, every one of you joining us in Discord, typing in the chat, spamming those emojis, sharing those memes. For those of you joining us on YouTube, Discord, Facebook, sharing your questions out there as well. We love it. So please like, subscribe, retweet, reshare, do all the things that you can to spread the word about the Fireside and have as many people as possible listening to us. All right. So that's gonna wrap it up for my little custom intro for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. Couple housekeeping items before we get started. Pop token giveaway, of course, that's live in the Pop Bot chat. Prizes for the April raffle ticket have been sent out. Congratulations to Hernan. With his 6 or 7 tickets, I don't know exactly, he was able to be lucky and win our first prize of 50 EOS. 20 other people won some 10 EOS prizes. And if you have not, and here I just shared the kind of list of accounts that won the 10 EOS prizes. If you've not won a prize yet, don't worry. I'll be dropping some extra goodies later on to everyone who had a ticket but did not win a prize. So thanks for playing in the raffle and good luck in this month's raffle. The raffle tickets are now available to be minted. Hernan asks, how do you claim your prizes? So you've got an EOS NFT airdrop in your account. All you got to do is send it over to the account redeem.gems, and then we'll airdrop the EOS into your account. It's a small workaround we had to do because Atomic Hub doesn't display backed NFTs anymore. So we can't actually back the NFTs directly with EOS, but we can give out these fun EOS airdrop NFTs, and those instructions are always in the attributes in case you forget them. All right, let's go. Echo, echo, echo. Is Valerie the only one getting echo, or is it on my side?
I do not hear an echo.
No echo, no echo, echo, clear. All right. Sorry, Valerie, must be on your side. All right, first piece of news for the day. Wordproof integrates into Shopify. Here we go. Let me share some links for you all in the chat. We've got the announcement from Wordproof. We've got a tweet from Sebastian. And let me bring up here, let me share some highlights from this article. So Wordproof timestamp empowers Shopify website owners to effortlessly timestamp their online content, enhancing trust, transparency, and security for both businesses and consumers. Shopify website owners can now seamlessly add timestamp data to their schema.org markup, ensuring their content is provably authentic and tamper-proof. That means 4.3 million Shopify users can now timestamp their content on the EOS blockchain with just a few clicks. Absolutely great. When Sebastian was on the Fireside about a month and a half ago, he was talking about this announcement that was upcoming. So it's great to see that this happened. And I would encourage you guys to show him some love on Twitter. Retweet, like the tweet, etc. Sebastian, one of the OGs of the EOS community, Wordproof, one of the first apps to launch that really leveraged EOS, and it's great to see it still doing that so far. All right. Hopefully we get Sebastian on the show again in the future. All right, moving on to our next topic. We're talking EOS EVM. There's adoption, there's some coin market cap listings, and there's a webinar coming up. So let's get into it. First of all, we've got a tweet from the ENF that's dated from 2 days ago, welcoming Messen on launching its and congratulating Messen on launching its swap service on the EOS EVM. Messen-Fi, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right or not. Let me share the link in here. Is the fast, costless, secure, and perhaps easiest way for users to bring stablecoins to the EOS EVM from leading blockchains. Swap from 20 different blockchains to USDT on EOS EVM at Messen.fi. Very cool, very cool. I've not had the chance to try out this product just yet. If any of you in here have, please join me on stage. Maybe share some of your experiences or any thoughts you may have. Yeah. Misan. Thanks, Valerie, for that pronunciation. Misan. There we go. All right. What else do we have in the world of EOS EVM? CoinHub Wallet as integrated EOS EVM network. There we go. CoinHub Wallet. Let me share this link as well. We're probably going to be sharing a couple of apps like this kind of every week on the Fireside here, just trying to give more exposure to these programs. If you're part of one of these teams that's deployed on the EOS EVM, you want to come on the Fireside, say hi to the community, share a bit about what your project's all about, definitely do that. You can just join us any week, jump on stage when we're talking EVM or at the community open mic section, or even reach out to me ahead of time so I can get you on the agenda. And also, every week I will remind everyone, just because I'm bringing up these projects does not mean that I've done due diligence on them, does not mean that you should put all your money in these projects. Definitely should not put all your money in any project, but just a friendly reminder to do your own diligence. And just because I'm talking about it doesn't mean I'm vouching for it. All right, coin market cap update. So EOS EVM chain is now live on DexScan. So this is cool. Actually, I didn't even know this this section of CoinMarketCap existed actually, so that's very cool to see. Let me share the links here. We got the tweet.
The reason you didn't know is Denis brought this up in one of the working group channels that the engineers and team discuss EVM. Is it's been impossibly difficult to get CoinMarketCap, and then there's another one called CoinGecko Terminal. That's been listing all of the swaps on the EVM. It's been impossibly difficult to get EOS native swaps and AMMs aggregated on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and that's one of the advantages of kind of playing into the EVM standard. Is like at a rapid pace, all of these third-party data aggregators are picking up the EOS EVM, and it's happening organically. So just for everyone's record, like we as the ENF did not make this happen. This happened organically. So it was either, part of it was one of the projects. I think NutraSwap got the one on CoinMarketCap. They had a connection there, but then the one on Coin Terminal also happened organically. So the fact that these data aggregators are picking up organic EOS EVM swap data is awesome. It's something that never happened before, and it's not due to lack of effort. It's been something that's been pushed for years to just get like CoinMarketCap to like show the swap volume for the EOS USDT pair on CoinMarketCap. It has been impossibly difficult, and DeFi Box and other EOS native DeFi projects have not been able to do so. But within roughly a month, or actually much less than a month, because this data has been available on Gecko Terminal, for example, for a couple weeks now. It's happened within weeks of launch. So it's a huge step in the right direction to be part of the conversation. And also, just the data visualization, it's helpful. if I want to know the statistics of what's going on in the DeFi ecosystem, like you can't visualize the data if like you don't have the right tools. And this is great to see.
Oops, wrong sound effect. Meant to give a round of applause to the EOS EVM for this organic adoption. Drew Joy coming in the chat saying EOS
Someone's
EVM is
pushing it,
organic
but
free
yeah.
range EVM. Love it, Drew. Yeah, that's great. Great to see for sure. Definitely nice to be able to be included among all these other aggregators, among beside all these other chains. All that's left now is to pump up the volume of TVL and the volume of trades, but I'm sure that's coming. So that's very cool. CoinMarketCap. Did you say that it's also listed on CoinGecko?
Gecko Terminal. So we're in the process of writing a blog article that'll kind of recap all of the ecosystem, dashboards, projects, wallets. There's been a lot. I'll share the link for the Gecko Terminal.
I just found here the Gecko Terminal link I can share. Personally, I like CoinGecko more than CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap was doing some funky things at one point, and I kind of moved over to CoinGecko, but I never heard of this Gecko Terminal. Very cool. All right, what else do we have here for EVM topics? DeFi Llama, I guess I can share the link to that. I've been kind of checking it every week. We've seen a bit of a plateau in the TVL after some really rapid rises in TVL over the last couple of weeks. Will be interesting to see how that plays out over the next couple of months. I know ENF has been talking with specific partners. I don't remember exactly where I read this, but ENF is working with maybe some projects to get an hashtag official swap or something. I don't know. Zack or Brandon, maybe if you want to jump in here with some clarifications.
Zack, that's all you.
That's all Zack. Where did I see this? I'm sure I saw this today. I was browsing around. Oh, I think it was in the BP Blog Producer Meeting monthly report. That's right. That's where I saw that. So here, might as well jump into the Blog Producer Meeting report that was published just 2 days ago, or no, just yesterday. The monthly block producer meetings, are meant to establish regular communications between the top 30 EOS BPs and the EOS Network Foundation to foster an open dialogue between network operators and custodians. That's great. So this meeting occurred on May 11th. 22 BPs attended the call. 28 people participated in the discussion, which ran for 1 hour. And so some of the topics that were discussed included EOS EVM. Here it says that there's been an influx of new applicants to the grant framework from EVM projects, and that the ENF is working to increase business development support for EVM projects. And then they go on to talk a bit about security. And yeah, there we go. And then a bit further down the document, we see a Q&A where it says, will we see liquidity be added to the EVM? That's what I was referring to. And the answer is, we are working with a few teams that we believe will be successful in the ecosystem and in negotiations with specific applications, which will lead to an official DEX and official swap. We are working towards getting funding from the network so that the network will have equity. So that's where I found that. Anything to add on that, Zack, or is it pretty much well explained here on this blog page?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, it's like there's likely liquidity on the sidelines that's just waiting to learn what the official swap is. So, like on Binance Smart Chain, you have Pancake Swap. On Polygon, you've got Quick Swap. I could name more, but there's always, I guess, one that's not really blessed, but kind of has the nod of approval. And that's likely one of the things that is holding back some liquidity from these swaps. And I think what's in the blog post is what's public. As far as like ongoing conversations and investment opportunities happening in the background, and no decisions have been made yet. And when it is made, I'm sure everyone will know about it.
All right, great. The Q&A continues here on this EOS BP meeting recap. Is the EOS Network Foundation or EOS Network Ventures that will be the liquidity provider? The answer is both. And then the final question was regarding the collaborations with DW.
You just got cut out.
Yep. Bring back Steph. Bring back Steph.
One of the things I can say about liquidity, I don't know if it's been deployed yet, but you mentioned earlier the Meson Phi bridge, which is actually an awesome tool. So right now we have USDT on the EOS EVM. That's the one stablecoin being bridged over by multi-chain. So what the Meson Phi bridge does is it's an aggregator of stablecoins with a liquidity pool of Tether on the EOS EVM, and it allows you to bridge USDT, USDC, BUSD, DAI, pretty much all of the major stablecoins from almost every chain. So, and that includes some of the layer 2s like Optimism and Arbitrum. So it allows you to very easily get stablecoin liquidity into the EOS EVM, even if you don't hold USDT on those other chains. So you could basically swap if USDC is your stablecoin of choice, you could for less than $1 get all of your USDT or USDC converted into USDT on the EOS EVM, and that's all kind of made possible because of the liquidity that's going. If it hasn't already, I don't think it has. But the liquidity being deployed into that USDT pool, it's essentially just USDT sitting in a single-sided swap pool, waiting for swaps to happen from other chains from like USDC, like stablecoin to stablecoin swaps. It's a super useful tool if you're into DeFi, and I highly suggest anyone to look into it. But you'll be able to make swaps of, I believe, up to $100,000 soon, with no slippage and less than $1 fee.
We never heard from Steph again.
All right. What
So
did I
just
miss?
You're back.
Yeah, the internet just
I
blinked
could
out,
just
but now it's back. So hopefully it stays.
Yeah, so you missed a little bit of alpha on the stablecoin swap. The other alpha, and all of this will be announced over the next couple weeks or week or whatever. But another problem or point of friction being resolved with the bridging into the EOS EVM is with the multi-chain bridge. So let's say hypothetically you have USDT on Ethereum and you've never used the EOS EVM before. So essentially what we learned about is there are people bridging in stable coins or other assets into the EOS EVM, but the problem is that they don't have any EOS for gas. It's like withdrawing Tether from an exchange onto Ethereum and not having any ETH. So you're stablecoins are just kind of stuck. So you could just withdraw EOS directly to the EOS EVM, but that's just an extra step. It's a point of friction. So we're working to finalize a program with multi-chain, where everyone who will use the bridge will essentially get 0.05 EOS. So it's not much, but it gives enough gas to do a couple of transactions. That way you don't have stable coins or ETH or BNB or whatever asset is being bridged into the EVM. It won't be stuck because the user doesn't have gas. So one of the very first transactions that they could do once they get to the EVM is they could actually use one of the swaps and swap whatever stablecoin or other digital asset that they brought into the EOS EVM. They could use that to swap and purchase EOS. Then they'll have as much gas as they need.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, I see Nathan James is in the crowd. Do you want to come on stage here and promote the webinar a bit? Maybe share a bit about what we'll be learning in tomorrow's webinar?
Sure, just give me a couple minutes because I'm with the kids at the moment.
Sure, no problem. We'll get back to Nathan in just a bit. All right. Anything else on EVM? Anyone in the crowd want to share maybe some of their experiences, some of the apps they've been trying, some concerns they may have? I'm gonna give you guys a couple seconds here to do that, and if not, we're gonna move on to our next topic, which is going to be Pomelo pool explanations. All right, let's move on to Pomelo Season 6. Let's see here. Is Andrew with us?
Indeed I am. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. So I had a longtime community member, actually, I was talking with this morning. He's used Pomelo in the past. I'm not going to out him in public, but he requested an explanation of these new pools, these new matching partners, and he wants you to explain it to him like he's 8.5 years old.
I'm usually explaining like someone's 5. I gotta switch
Step it
this
up
up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'll just give an overview and then feel free to ask any questions. So Pomelo has announced our season 6, which should be a game changer because we are introducing multiple matching pools, as you just mentioned, as well as a new matching partner. Season 6 is set to commence on May 31st, so coming up in a couple weeks here. The development of this season involved 4 matching pools. Collectively, they're valued at $182,000, and they're aimed at supporting Web3 public goods. So we've got the EOS Network Foundation sponsoring 3 EOS pools, and then our new matching partner, Telos, will be funding the 4th matching pool. The support of the ENF, in my opinion, really underscores its commitment to sort of fostering the areas where the EOS blockchain can truly excel. So specifically, the foundation is using Pomelo to strategically focus the builders in the community on number 1, EVM adoption, and number 2, on sort of open source GameFi tools that the EOS chain needs to adequately serve game developers who are looking to incorporate distributed ledger technology into their games. So to qualify for any of these ENF pools, which are EOS-based, projects must be public goods and they must launch on the EOS blockchain. And there are 3 of these pools. One of them is the EOS EVM pool. That's got 65,000. The EOS GameFi pool, which also has 65,000. And then a larger everything EOS pool, which targets kind of generally EOS public, because this is what we've traditionally been running, but this season is much more targeted. So we got the everything EOS pool, which is for any category, and that is it's got 28,000 of matching funds. Meanwhile, the Talos community is making its debut as a matching partner, and they're funding their pool through the Talos Works. So many thanks to the Talos community for expressing interest in that. The pool is valued at 140,000 Talos, which is around $24,000. And this pool specifically aims to support public goods in the Talos ecosystem, and projects must launch on the Talos blockchain in order to be eligible. So these matching pools, we got 4 separate rounds. When participating, grants and owners need to sort of carefully consider the eligibility criteria for each round to determine where their grant fits best. The donation process has not changed, with the exception that you can donate in either EOS or wrapped Talos from your EOS accounts. The platform itself is still living on EOS, so this presents a great opportunity to sort of utilize inter-blockchain communication. So that's exciting for those who like to see usage of that. So just for a quick timeline, grant applications open on May 31st, and they will continue to be open until June 21st, so 3 weeks. And the Pomelo team will take a look at your grant when you apply, and we will determine whether it's a public good using sort of a standard set of standard rubric, you could call it. And then donations will be open on June 7th, and they will be open until June 29th. And again, you can contribute EOS, you can contribute wrapped Talos, just got to do it from an EOS account. And after June 29th, the Pomelo team analyzes the results, makes sure to take care of any Sybil evidence, and then grant owners KYC, and then they can claim. The entire process spans 4 weeks, so it's kind of staggered. You got 3 weeks. There's 2 weeks of crossover there. And the application phase opening a week before the donation phase. Donations closing a week after applications close. So yeah, we're excited to kick off season 6. It's I see it as a tremendous opportunity for collaboration, both between grant owners and donors, and across the Talos and EOS ecosystems. So I'm not sure if that addressed the question, but I'm glad to open it up if someone else has questions. Would like to add anything?
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Bjorn, are you trying to speak or just wanting to be muted? I think he wants to be muted. Yeah, so Daniel shared the links to the 2 latest Pomelo articles. So if you've got questions, something still not clear, you can definitely find all the answers in there.
Yeah, or feel free to ping me on Telegram, Ursa Polaris on Telegram, Drew Block or Drew Joy. I don't know, pick one.
There you go.
I have an additional question. So in the future, what can we look forward to with I mean, no promises, of course, and it's all speculation, but I presume that, other IBC chains would be able to also pile in to Pomelo should they want to.
Yeah. So for sure. So that is definitely something we've been looking at. We were potentially going to talk to Wax to see if they were interested, but they ended up upgrading to the newest version that allowed for IBC a little bit later than the other chains. So that one was a little bit behind schedule. We've also been discussing with UX to see if we can get matching pools with them. I don't want to speak for anyone else. their decision whether or not they want to become matching partners. But that said, we are certainly interested in bringing on really as many ecosystem participants as we can. But yeah, so we've got, we're in talks with, or rather, among the entities that has expressed interest is Wax, UX Alien Worlds, and we may expand that list. And actually, if you have a project and you're interested in becoming a matching partner, either with your own separate matching pool, which is sort of what we're doing with Talos, or if you'd like to contribute to the main matching pool, we'd be glad to discuss that. That's sort of where we're trying to move towards in the future. And one other thing I'll mention, because we're approaching, we're still in the testing phase, but we're working on the Pomelo bounties, and we're currently finishing up with the development of the first version of that, and we'll be sharing that with relevant stakeholders, some of whom are in this call. And then once we do a little bit of testing, then we will roll it out to the larger community. And that's something that personally, as someone who joined in Pomelo before I started working for Pomelo, that is something I am particularly excited about it. Hopefully you guys are too.
Definitely. If I may, one feature request. One thing I've really wanted to see, and I don't know if this has been here in the past or not. It's about the website, the Pomelo website. I see Steph just added the details about the upcoming submissions opening. There used to be a countdown and stuff on the main website, but there's just no information that I can see about season 6. Like, it's coming, get ready. I can see, like, learn how it works and create a grant, but no like countdown call to action kind of thing and like showing that timeline of like when things open, because I always get questions from people like, when is it starting? And then it's like the time is winding down and they're like, oh, I haven't done it yet. And they're just confused about, and a lot of it's like on the Medium articles that you guys publish, but the only link to the Medium page that I can find on the Pomelo website is all the way at the bottom under community in the footer. So it's just kind of hidden. So that's my feedback there.
Yeah, great feedback. I appreciate it. So we've actually been working on one of the items on our issues list is sort of refining that and making that. We do have countdown timers, but what you are talking about, it sounds like, is a countdown to when the season starts. And I think that's a great point, and I think that's a good suggestion. On the Medium stuff, there are other links to the Medium articles, which are sort of in the relevant section. So, for example, we've got guides on various things, and then the link to that will be like in the relevant section. But I see your point in that in terms of getting to a landing on that Medium page is not necessarily user flow wise ideal. That said, we are working.
I'll chime in here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go for it.
But probably by tomorrow or the next day, you should see that countdown timer counting down to season 6. Actually, we had planned to coordinate that launch with the launch of the announcement article, and there was just some internal. One of our devs was not able to get to it at that time, but we'll be pushing that up probably tomorrow. So yeah, countdown when we've improved that. So we've got countdowns to each of the phases basically throughout the season, and in the banners, the little banners that display the matching pools, links to the Medium article.
Cool. And then just one final follow-up, I guess, about Medium. I'm just curious, are you guys going to stick with Medium, or are you ever planning to do a blog like on the main page, or is Medium working for you, or how's that?
Medium is, we are using largely as a sort of functional thing. We will be sort of working on a new version of the grants website. And once we do that, I think we'll probably condense those instructions and bring them onto the website itself. But at this point, with limited developer resources, we're kind of focused more on sort of implementing these features that people have been requesting. And since we can accomplish the bulk of what we're trying to do just by publishing to Medium, that's sort of the route we've gone to. But it's duly noted that is the user flow on that can be confusing.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
Hi, Drew. I've got this is Perry from D News. I've got a question for you. It seems like you've divided, or the new pools are making a distinction between on-chain and otherwise. Is that fair to say? And if that is the case, if you have, like, for example, a public good, like, let's say, for example, D News, it's not on chain, it's not on Telos, it's not on EOS. However, it's providing a public service to those communities. Will I be rewarded specifically from? It sounds like two specific tools, or two specific pools. One being a Telos pool, one being an EOS pool. So my question is, where can I get that information of what is the amounts of all the different pools, like the whole breakdown? And if I'm relegated to that one or two pools, are the on-chain grant proposals, the grant projects, are they also going to be drawing from both pool types or only the on-chain pool type? That makes sense.
Yeah, I think I understand your question now. So the mention of needs to be deployed on the EOS chain or on the Telos chain, that's not maybe the best way to put it. It's more they should be focused on those relevant chains. That's mostly to make clear. In the past, the EOS general pool has been open to all Antelope projects. However, this season, the EOS pool is focused on EOS, and then we've got a Telos pool for Telos. On the pools question, I just want to clarify, because it sounds like possibly you might be misunderstanding the structure of the pools. When you create a grant, you select a single pool for that grant to live in, and then it will be eligible for a portion of that pool's sort of matching funds. So if you want to do D News on EOS and then D News for the Telos ecosystem as well, you could publish two separate grants, one each for the EOS ecosystem and then another one for the Telos ecosystem. The idea is it's one-to-one as far as each grant is part of one matching pool. So it's not as if you can apply to multiple matching pools and then get twice or three times the amount of money or anything like that.
Even though my singular product, my singular service covers both communities, right? I have not created a separate Telos instance of DNews. Even this, right? You're suggesting that I can apply to both pools, or do I have to create a completely separate Telos instance of DNews?
So you would have to create a separate grant, I believe. I gonna want to double check this with the rest of the team. I'm just one person, but as far as I understand, according to our rules, essentially what you'd want to do is you'd want to create two separate grants for the single project. Portion of that will be D News covering EOS, and a portion of that will be D News covering Telos.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much, Drew.
Yeah. Glad to help clarify.
That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other Pomelo questions before we move on to our other guests?
Yeah, Aaron Cox has some good input here. Add that to the discussion log here.
Yeah, Aaron, I don't know if you want to jump on here. Apparently not. He's eating a sandwich. But let me read out his comment. So Aaron says that chain and category specific pools sounds positive for matching partners and negative for both donors and grant creators. So we're gonna give him a second to finish his bite and then hear more about what Aaron means by that comment. In the meantime, let's see if we can move on to another topic. Chevs, are you ready to talk to us about CriptoMexico and the EOS Mexico community representation that's going to be at that event? We've unserver muted you, Chevs. Sounds like you've got
Hey, what's
some...
up, guys?
There
Can you
you
hear
go.
me?
We can hear you, Chev. How's it going?
Hey, it's doing amazing. Hope everybody's having a great time.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
for sure. I don't know if there's some specific questions that you want me to get into it first.
Nothing too specific. Maybe just kind of explain a bit what the event is all about. Maybe share a bit about the EOS Mexico community and your plans for the event.
Yeah, for sure. So this event, CriptoMexico, I was invited by my friend Andres Palmar, who is a musician and creates music NFTs on EOS. So he's actually from Venezuela and he moved over here to Mexico and he began EOS Mexico. And he invited me because he found out about this event, CriptoMexico, which is being developed in the city of Monterrey, which is actually one of the most important cities here in Mexico. It's one of the richest cities, and most of the important Mexico crypto influencers are going to be in that event. So that's really cool. So he invited me because I live actually two hours away from Monterrey, and I said, yeah, sure. That's is of course I'm down to talk about crypto, especially if it's about EOS. So yeah, definitely excited about that. We're gonna have 30 to 45 minutes to just talk about EOS, the great things that are being developed right now, the different financing mechanisms that we have in place, like Pomelo, like the ENF grants, everything that's going on with the EVM, EOS EVM, that they just open sourced it, like all of the good news that has been recently coming out, that we can potentially bring in more users to the EOS ecosystem, because it is a great ecosystem and everybody should use it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for going out there and representing the EOS community at this crypto conference. And that goes for anyone out there in the community, wherever you are in the world. If there's a local conference going and you're showing up, maybe you're just going as a guest, maybe you've got a speaking role, maybe you're sharing a booth or whatever it is. We love to hear about it. We're happy to kind of share the news with the entire community. Maybe someone else from the community is also going to be at that event, and this gives an opportunity for the community to meet up and say hi to each other. So that's very, very nice.
That's very nice. I see Dave Rex is asking me where I live. I'm not sure if I should share that confidential information.
Is it United States?
No, I actually live in the beautiful city of Reynosa. Anybody who wants to come eat tacos over here, you're very welcome. But it's actually a border city with Texas. So yeah, we're pretty close to the United States. And pretty close to Monterrey, which gave us the opportunity to talk about EOS. So yeah, pretty cool.
There you go. Yeah, I think Dave lives not too far from you.
Oh, look, he lives in McAllen. Yeah, he lives few minutes away. Let's meet up, Dave.
There you go. Love to hear it. All right. Thanks, Chevs, for coming on and talking about that. Maybe you can come on again in a few weeks after the event and share a bit of how it went.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on. Nice to talk with you guys.
Great. Thanks for joining us. All right, Aaron, are we ready to throw it back to you? Talk a bit more about Pomelo. I see Aaron has unmuted himself, but we cannot hear him yet. Very suspenseful.
Yeah, how about now?
There we go.
Sweet. Still getting all set up, so controls are weird. Anyways, I just started reading through that Pomelo pitch, and I just joined like towards the end of that conversation, but my gut reaction is this is really complicated. I'm looking at it from like an anchor perspective, or really just consider any project that's going to fall into multiple categories. As a grant creator, I'm going to have to first of all, we're currently limited to 3 proposals. So if there's more than 3 pools and the project matches for more than 3 pools, now there's kind of a strategic decision that needs to be made about which pools to participate in. That'll be based on potentially the size of the pool, how much competition is in that pool, how well it qualifies for that pool. Like, those decisions are all now coming onto grant creators who are going to have to recreate their grant for each of those pools, up to whatever the limit is. Now, that same layer of complication is also going to be conveyed down to the donors and directly through the grant creators who are encouraging donors to come donate to their project. No longer will the grant creator have one project that's like, hey, in our instance, it'd be, hey, come support Anchor. We're doing this thing this season. Like, it applies all chains, benefits kind of everybody in this one kind of wallet sphere or whatever pool it may be, but it's across all chains. It's not chain specific. So now do we have to be like, hey, Telos users, come donate on this side, and hey, EOS users, donate on this side? Or if you want to do the most impact, donate to all of these duplicate proposals, which is kind of like a civil attack. Like, this is where my head and that reaction came from, is that while in theory this sounds great, especially from the matching partners perspective, because they want to make sure their funds are getting allocated to projects that are benefiting them. But from the user and the grant creator side of things, it's going to create a lot of confusion, like UX confusion, not specifically in like the interaction with the application, but in the overall experience and the communication, the messaging, the blogging, the talking about it. To get all of this right is going to be hard, and I hope that that's the path you guys are going on, but I just wanted to put all this out there to express the concern of how I imagine my experience is going to be, or whoever does it on our team, for projects like ours. Like, I'm already just seeing these road bumps that this puts in the way.
Yeah, that's some great feedback. I think hopefully the way that we've approached donations will make will mean that the confusion is a non-issue for donors. We'll see about that. I think you have an excellent point about the sort of increased level of complexity for grant owners. Yeah, I don't know what specifically would be a really good solution for that, but at this point there is that sort of additional additional confusion, additional kind of friction there, and
I know. Sorry.
Go for it.
No, I was gonna say, I know it would be more complicated from an engineering and UI perspective. But if one project could be placed into multiple pools, I think that alleviates the concern.
Mhm.
It's what we had in previous seasons was, we have one link and we're like, hey, we're doing this cool thing. We'd appreciate your support. Go here. And it sounds like in this new paradigm, that's no longer the case. So I would just offer that as it's not a simple solution from an engineering perspective, but to maintain the same user experience, that could be it. So I just throw that out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not how we currently have it designed, but I think it would not be crazy to change the back end such that it allows that.
Yeah, and that's good feedback. And one thing I would recommend to grant owners who do want to keep their life simple, you've got choices. So if you want to only have one link to promote, then just create one grant for the pool that you think is the most has the most opportunity for you to be successful in. And all these additional pools are like bonus gravy opportunities for you to participate in if you want to, money that otherwise wouldn't have been on the table. That's now on the table that you can go after if you would like to, or again, if not, you don't have to. You are correct that for a project like Anchor, if you do want to participate in both pools, you would need to create 2 grants, and then from the donor perspective, now you've got 2 different versions of the Anchor grant to scroll through and choose which am I going to donate to one of them, or am I going to donate to both of them? I wouldn't consider that a Sybil. Again, it's different pools, different matching partners funding each of these. But to your point, yeah, I could see the from a donor perspective, that might be a confusing experience, and from a grant owner perspective, again, there's a new choice you have to make.
And it'll be hard to make an informed choice because you won't know. Well, I mean, you'll know the amount that's going into that pool, but you won't know how many submissions are competing against you in that pool, which is arguably more important than the actual amount.
Yeah.
Because if you enter like a really low competition,
you won't know in advance, but you will be able to filter and see how many people are currently approved. So you'll know the current numbers of people, but obviously can't predict over the course of the season how that changes.
And I'm assuming once you submit and are approved, you cannot switch pools.
That's right.
So I think from your guys' perspective, a logistics thing is going to be you're encouraging all grant proposals that are doing this strategy to submit at the last moment. So maybe expect an influx towards the last couple days, because that's the incentive for grant owners now, is to submit at the last possible moment.
Or at least the last moment before donations open, because there's 2 weeks of donations being open before applications close.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
that's, for me as a grant creator, that's where I would target, is like right before the season opens for donations. I wouldn't, wait into the season to see, but it's a fun new strategy layer on top.
Just an additional consideration for those who are considering that strategy, there is a time lead before the admin team is able to get through a given grant application to qualify it as a public good and part of EOS ecosystem, or whichever is relevant.
Right. It can take up to 3 business days to review a grant application. So if you submit it the day before donations open, you may miss out on 3 days of donations.
So yeah, thank you very much, Aaron. That's excellent feedback, and the feedback is, that's how we make it better. That's all of the features that we've been adding and that kind of thing. Most of them have been requested by community members. So yeah, feel free to share, and we are very appreciative of that kind of, or I know I am.
Absolutely.
That kind of input.
And it'll be cool to see how this plays out, because I mean, I'm speculating right now at how this would go, but with this upcoming season, I'm assuming it's locked in the way it is for now, but being able to pay attention to how this actually does play out will be really interesting.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron, for those comments. Couple points that I'd like to add in here. It does make it trickier on the grant creator side of things, which as the hot sauce grant creator, I've definitely thought of some of these things and how that's going to impact our grant for season 6. But on the other side, if I put on my just EOS token holder hat, part of the EOS community, I think being able to better allocate funding to specific types of projects that the network wants to focus on is going to be very beneficial. And I think that upside is going to be greater than the downside that's going to come to creators in terms of choosing the right pool, the complexity around the messaging for these different pools and all that, which may seem complicated at first, but I think once the community, goes through one season, will become fairly obvious and shouldn't be too much of a problem moving forward. And overall, so overall, I think I'm pretty excited for these changes. I think it's going to be a net positive for the EOS network and community. And, I'm not opposed to adding a bit more of strategy decision making to the whole process. Like you say, there's going to be like strategies. Do you wait till the last minute for which pool to join, but then you miss out on donations? There's going to be a bunch of things to take in consideration. My feeling is that it's probably not going to be worth it to try to wait till last minute. I think just choosing the pool that best represents your grant and getting there as early as possible to make sure you're in there when donations open, I feel like is probably going to be the best strategy. But yeah, looking forward to see how it all plays out. It's taking away power from the donors and giving power to the matching partners. Another comment that Aaron just added to the chat. Fair enough, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, and I think actually maximizing the amount of matching partners is going to be very beneficial to the entire Antelope ecosystem, not just EOS, not just Telos, but should benefit everyone. There we go, Valerie. Valerie's got the steps down right. You pick the pool, you jump in the pool, and you stay in the pool. There you go. Pool party coming up on May 31st. All right, any other thoughts from the community on Pomelo? Loving the conversation so far. I'm going to give a few moments and then we'll move on to the next topic.
All right.
Ah, yes, of course I'm muted. I don't even know what I was saying. All right, cool. So let's move on to our next topic. At this point, I'd like to invite Eyal from BBS Network to join me on stage and talk about BBS and the updates and how that project's going. Welcome to the
Hello.
Fireside, Eyal. We can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm actually at the airport, so I hope it's not too noisy.
So far, so good.
So, how are you doing?
Yes, we're doing good. We're looking forward to hearing more about BBS and this project that you've been working on. So maybe you can start by giving the community a bit of background information on yourself, maybe some of the projects you worked on before, and then jump into BBS.
Sure. So, My name is Eyal Herzog. I've been entrepreneur for 25 years already. My first company were around social media and social network. Created a social network in 1998 called Contact.com. And then I created a social media site on 2003 called MetaCafe.com. It was actually second to YouTube, but in a winner takes it all game. And that was actually blessing in disguise because I discovered because of that I left MetaCafe in 2010 and discovered Bitcoin in 2011, and you know jumped right into the pool. Created some project with some friends of user generated tokens, user generated currency, initially for community currency. We realized that we need a liquidity solution for those community created currencies. And we started thinking about solution and experimenting with different solutions, which resulted in the creation of the Banker protocol in 2016, which was launched on 2017 on Ethereum on a very big, uh, it was for a short while the largest crowd sale in history for a few short weeks. And it was for the Banker protocol, and we created the first DeFi on Ethereum. We launched it as soon as we completed the fundraise, the token sale. And essentially, I did that for 4 years. Banker was also one of the first projects on EOS for actually. EOS still had the Banker protocol that we wrote together with Dan Larimer before it was launched, specifically because Dan Larimer really got excited about the potential of liquidity pools way before the rest of the world understood the potential. I think it took like 3 years for people to realize, how useful liquidity pools are. And so, we created probably the first bridge between two blockchains when we connected the Ethereum and EOS blockchain to a bridge that we built ourselves. And in 2020, I got back to my original love, which is social network and social media, because I felt like, EOS is good enough so I can build a social network in a way that can scale. Definitely. We figured out how to do that, and we started working on BBS, which is essentially social, like a Reddit-type Facebook group, if you will, social media, but all the data is on chain, all the users, the posts, the likes, the comments, everything. So it cannot be controlled by anyone. And we also built it in a fully Web2 compatible way. So our first community that started to use the product, the first one was Star Wars Theory, which was YouTube channel with 3 million subscribers. That most of them didn't know what blockchain is. And most of those who didn't like the idea of blockchain. So that was, the first customer. We got many more since. But the idea is that the users cannot tell this is blockchain in any way. That's very important design for. We released the first, alpha in 2021 with the Star Wars Theory. Then we released the token and the reward model, the BBS token and the DAO and the whole thing we released on 2022, the beginning of 2022. And in the beginning of this year, we released the iOS and Android application. And just 2 weeks ago, we released something that we think is very strategic for us. We call it video threads, and I can talk a lot more about that. I think it's good enough for an intro. And you answer any question.
Yeah, that's a great intro for sure. And thanks for coming on the Fireside. So these video threads, very interesting. Seen a couple posts about it recently. I was wondering, I'm curious actually, you mentioned earlier that all the user data, all the posts, etc. on BBS are stored on chain. Are the videos also stored on chain, or how does that work?
No. And it's funny that I have to keep reminding everyone. We solved the centralized file system 20 years ago. The centralized file system was never a challenge. We made it easier, simpler with IPFS and host of other solutions that can make it more convenient to handle it. But the basic idea of these hosting files online without a central entity that manages that is kind of it's all technology. And right now, we want to use IPFS, but it's really not about the files. The most important thing for us is the metadata, because the files, to be honest, everything you can find on BBS, you can find on, best of other social media. It's really not about, keeping the files that they will not be deleted. The files will stay there. It's really about the metadata. It's really about the text that people enter. It's really about the registration to community. For example, there was a community of 300,000, I think it was 600,000 Trump supporters in Reddit. It was censored in multiple steps. It was called the Donald, and Reddit kind of quarantined it, and then did some warning, and eventually they censored it completely. What they censored is the link between all those people and that community. So they took away their access to their customers, essentially. And if the community tried to get the customers to come and sign up somewhere else, and we did, but that's not the right solution. So really, when we talk about censorship, it's censorship not of deleting your file, but it's deleting important metadata, the user connection to the community, user relationship, ownership of communities is actually very important data, and that all is kept on chain. You can see it with the block store. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, that's good. You just caught me with a bite. No, very good. Thank you for clarifying that. That makes sense to me. I see here, Lovejoy shared the EOS English community on BBS.MARKET, BBS.MARKET/EOS ENG. So if you want to try out BBS, now's a good time. Join this community. Leave some video replies. I was browsing there earlier today. There's a bit of activity. I know I talked about it last week as well. So so get in there, try out this cool product. Another question, Eyal, what does BBS stand for? I know it used to be bulletin board system back in the day when I used them. Is that what this still stands for?
So that's right, and I was a BBS user myself, and that's the first time I used decentralized network before the internet. And the thing with BBS is that bulletin board system is really the name that we gave message board before the name message board, uh, which is a very good analogy. Bulletin board, everyone posts something on a bulletin board, everyone else can see that. It's a community center. And that's how message boards and community servers in the ages before the internet that young people might not know about it, but before the internet, people would just have those download and pass to each other BBS software that would actually be distributed through BBS, that you can install. There are several types competing between them. You can install that on your PC, and then your PC would actually answer the modem when someone would call and provide them with a textual experience of a menu or the latest messages in the message board. Check your email. Was not really called email then, electronic mail, but it was based on the BBS system. But they actually had an electronic mail that you can send, and during the night it would transfer between different BBSs because you had a list of many, and you could call different ones, and some had subscription. You can download photos, you can download software, post messages. So that was kind of the first experience I had with networks, and on those days, the previous owner really owned the entire thing. He was owning the message boards that he was hosting. He had direct relationship with the consumer. And somewhere during the explosion of social media, we lost that. So now, if you create a community, and it's a very successful community, you own nothing. You just give. You give your time, your effort, you give your blood, your talent to Mark Zuckerberg or whoever it may be on Reddit. Because they own it, and they are the only one that profit from it. And you need to remember that Reddit is very different than Twitter, and that's kind of also its secret of success. But instead of having like a platform with a bunch of users that can use it directly with Reddit, it's what I like to call a three-tier ecosystem. There's a platform, but then there's super users. And the super users, they're creating the environment and are operating the environment on which the end users come to enjoy. So as the end user, you would join the community, but you would be subject to the rules of the community admin, and you can go out and you can decide what content is okay or not. So it's made of many small universes, if you will, that combines together become like one big one big social network, which is very different than Twitter, where there's no specific no community with different rules, but like one single community for the entire world. And so, did that answer the question, or did I miss something?
No, that answers the question. And I like the example you brought up of for example, the Trump subreddit that got shut down, which was kind of the home base for that community. Regardless of what we think of Trump, it's a good example that showcases that these communities are vulnerable to the platform changing their minds. And so very cool that the way that BBS is built on top of EOS, a decentralized network, where that can't happen.
Yeah.
In the chat here, I see Lovejoy saying that he used to rock BBSs hard. I mentioned I was on them as well. Eyal was on them as well. Let's see some ones in the chat. If you've ever played around on BBSs back in the day, what is it? 30 years ago now at this point? No, maybe not. 25 years ago or something. We got Andrew, yes. Eve coming in with some yes. Nova Crypto, yes. Daniel, Hernan, Morrow. Who would have known? We got a bunch of nerds in this chat. Who could have known?
Old nerds, it's worse than nerds.
Old nerds, that's right. Nice. Aaron says he was building one just 5 years ago. Whoa, it seems like Aaron was a bit lost, maybe. Awesome, cool. Thanks for those ones in the chat.
Interestingly, there are still BBS running today, and they would claim that they are the most private form of socializing because they're not running on the internet, and the government is monitoring the internet. And because they're just using phone lines, they're the most secure way of socializing online.
Wow, still some running. That's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah. Believe that or not.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's like all those people that keep wearing masks.
While driving in their car alone. While we're on the topic of old school tech, like the old version of BBSs, did you ever mess around with the moos and the mushes and the muds back in the day? Those other text-based worlds?
No, not really. This is Israel, This is not the fact that BBS now is a miracle. But I heard about such a great text game that people were playing, but for me it was just browsing the BBS, downloading software, downloading the game. That was demos, the crazy days.
Yeah.
But we'll try to bring something of that back, by again a board on the BBS network. When you own a board, when you own a community, it's like owning an NFT. It's a digital asset. It actually has a treasury because it can make money, and it has again customers, it has content, and it's like a small business. And you can transfer it with a digital signature. So we bring back the concept of ownership, of full ownership of your community. And the whole approach is not that you are the content provider. We are your technology provider. You are the thing. We provide you technology that kind of connect between you and the decentralized data storage system, whether it's the blockchain or IPFS or whatever. So we provide you the kind of the software that allow easy browsing in the system, but you're not providing your content to anyone but yourself. It's your content. Like the copyright laws, if I create something, unless I agree to give it to someone else, it's mine, protected by copyright. So that's kind of how we think about it with BBS.
So the structure of the BBS system that you kind of architected is basically operators who are essentially like the ISPs of the system, and they're running like the infrastructure. Then you've got the board managers or board owners, essentially, and there can be multiple boards per each operator. And then theoretically, you could have multiple operators running different infrastructure, and all of these can different message boards from different operators can find each other. There's still search and ability to migrate from place to place. How does that work exactly?
Okay, that's a very good question, because that might surprise some of you, but a lot of time when I tell kind of people from the blockchain industry about what we do, they're like, smile in a very polite way and say, yeah, but the technology can not scale in a massive way to support this kind of use case. And I'm like, no, it can definitely scale. And people are surprised. How do you say that? And I explain. And I think this is exactly because of our model of using Upland. So the way that we look at it is very simple. We And when I say we, let's say, I'm talking about the DAO, BBS DAO. So the DAO is providing software that essentially is available to anyone to download and to set up a BBS. It's not open source. It's not open source. It's a end user software, software. It should not be open source. That's a whole different discussion. But anyone can take the software, like in this old shareware days, there's a lot of nostalgic terms today. But when we had shareware, that you can download the software freely, but you don't have it for. And you can essentially use it to set up the BBS server and to set up an operator. It's very simple. You can do that on Google Firebase. But in order to do that, you need to connect it, to the blockchain, to have an account, to have a smart contract. You need to set a smart contract. So every operator has a smart contract, essentially, that it uses to write information to, and also to manage the user's wallet. And the way that it works is like you have many operators, each has its own set of smart contracts. But it's very important to stress that each operator can see all the smart contracts of all the other operators. By the way, even if they're not on EOS. Even if they are like on Telos or on any sidechain, each operator can read all the data from all the other operators, and you can have a million different blockchains in that setup. And because of that, then you can have something that we have today, which is like the BBS directory. So every board register on a BBS directory and indicates on which domain is hosted, and each domain is associated with a specific operator. And essentially, there's one directory that basically kind of lists, this is all the directory, and this is all the operators in the BBS network. And it's a smart contract that everyone can register the operator. And that's how all the operators are aware of each other. At that point, we have we call it special services. For example, an operator can operate a search service, which means that he would scan not just his own record, but records of many other operators, or in a specific language, or in a specific team, or whatever. But he can do whatever he wants to create a service that is a search service that then any other operator can use. And the question remains, so how will they compensate it? This central service operator and this is a very important component of our system that addresses really that. It's called the royalty distribution engine. So when you set up BBS, 5% of all the revenue that the board will generate automatically in the smart contract will go to the BBS DAO as the licensing for royalty for the software, that software client, all of that. Another percentage that is set by the operator, currently also 5%, will go to the operator. So every board that is hosted on a specific operator, every board that is hosted would pay that specific percentage royalty to that operator. So if my board, I make $100,000 from revenue from advertising in a specific month because people bought ads, which they can do on BBS. It means that the operator on which my board is hosted just made $5,000. But it's not limited just to the software royalties and to the operator royalties. It can be any other player. For example, it can be a third-party service that you use, for example, a search service, or offer a feed service, because we don't want to control the secret algorithm of your feed. In a social network like BBS, everyone can build their own algorithm and compete with each other. Now, they compete not only on the quality of the algorithm, but also on the price that they charge. And the price is charged again through the royalty distribution engine. The royalty distribution engine really allows an ecosystem of services to work together and just share on real time all the revenue that is generated on the board to all the different players that help in that operation, and that's done transparently in a way that everyone can verify on chain as well. And that's essentially how the operator model works. Just to conclude, anyone can be an operator, all the operators see each other, and anyone can offer cross-operator services like a feed from all the operator, a recommendation engine that would recommend stuff from other places, a search that would scan all the content, all the users, all the voice of operators, and then anyone can offer those services for royalties from the revenue that could be. So that's basically in high level the structure. And as you can maybe tell, it can scale really, really, really well. Basically, can scale as well as Web2. It's important to say that 99% of the stuff we put on blockchain is essentially just events. We log a lot of events, which is we should do. It's a very important thing. This is what Bitcoin does. This is what more. It's just about logging events and everything else is Wordproof in terms of scalability. We have databases, we have everything. So let's say an operator is crushed tomorrow or just gone from the face of the earth, no problem. You set up the software and you replay the event. It's called event sourcing. You replay the event from the blockchain and you bring the operating database to exactly the same state that it was. Because again, every event is logged.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. We'll have to get you on again sometime when your audio is a little easier to hear, because I feel like a lot of this information is so crucial to understanding kind of like what I think is like the brilliance of this architecture. So
yeah, definitely missed a couple words there. But we've been sharing a bunch of video interviews with Eyal in the chat. So those of you who want to learn more, listen to some better audio, there's a variety of podcasts there. There's one with EOSIO Swiss Workshop from February 2021. Hernan shared that the first ever Web3 Creators Pod episode features Eyal. And then I just also shared the recent EOS Network Foundation interview with Eyal. So definitely plenty of content for you guys to go listen to.
Thank you. I really need to run because I actually board. I board an airplane, so I have to run. But it's been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you very much for joining the Fireside, Eyal. We hope you come back soon to give us more updates on BBS.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Thanks,
We
Eyal.
didn't even talk about the video threads, really.
Yeah,
we didn't even get there.
Okay. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye. Have a safe flight.
Yeah, on the video thread topic though, real quick, in the EOS BBS that Drew owns and controls with an iron fist. All right, yeah, Andrew, that is. Yeah, I guess you could go by Drew. I get confused because your screen name is Drew Block someplace. And but yeah, we can do video threads and we can chat there. So I've been playing around with it a little bit, trying to make it part of my daily tech scene. But feel free to mess about there, and we'll see what happens.
Right on. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you were able to understand most of what Eyal was saying. There's definitely some better audio sometimes throughout that conversation. All right. Anything else, Brendan, you want to add on, or are we moving on to the next topic?
I'm good. That was fun.
That was fun. All right, real quick, want to give a shout out to EOS Quest. There's a new EOS account creation workflow for people if they want to try it out. It is the gate is having a Google account, I believe, is what you need to log into. So you can create a free EOS account with a Google login. So EOS Quest was a Pomelo funded project, and it's great to see them delivering on their promises. I did reach out to the team, didn't get an answer today, but maybe we'll get someone from the team to come talk to us. Perhaps Brandon here from the tweet that I shared. All right, let's see what else do we have here on the list. I think we've got 2 more stories to cover. First up, Hypha DAO hosted a Twitter Spaces yesterday in collaboration with the ENF. I was able to listen in for a couple minutes here and there, but Brandon, I know you were hosting the show, Martin was co-hosting. If I don't think Martin's online right now, but Brandon, if you want to maybe jump in, share a bit of your impressions of the Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, I just switched microphones. Can you hear me all right?
Not as good, but we can hear you.
Yeah, it's my headphones. Yeah, I thought the spaces went really well. The guests are all pretty phenomenal. I'll drop the link here in the chat momentarily. Yeah, it's really worth a listen to hear a lot of these different people that are building on Hypha. I think just have extraordinary visions for what they want to do with this kind of emerging organizational structure. And we talked a little bit about the different ways that Hypha can be used, how it's like extensible and adaptable to different organizational structures. And yeah, I learned a lot. It was really worth a listen. And yeah, the beta program is live. I've even heard a few people that are thinking about signing up for their beta program recently to maybe launch and manage some projects that they're working on for EOS in the world of open source. So check it out. Here's that link. Oh, did someone get it? All right, beat me to it, Shimana. Thank you. And yeah, I'm going to try to pull, we got an audio recording thanks to Yana, so we'll try to pull some clips from that and share, but I encourage everybody to give it a listen. It's 90 minutes or so, so there's a few speakers that made me just kind of, I don't know how to describe. Janae, I'll just say, she's a very good speaker, and I was kind of mesmerized. A very heartfelt and passionate person. So, yeah, exactly. I heard like angels and.
All right. Yeah, so there's also a blog article that was published on the ENF website. When was this? 2 days ago. And it talks about some of the features that are going to be available through Hypha. So I'm just going to read them out real quick. And if you want more information, I encourage you to read the article. So Feature 1, quickly and easily set up a DAO by selecting from ready-made templates. Feature 2, achieve decentralized organizational structure via circles and circle budgets. 3, benefit from having a safe and secure multi-signatory treasury. 4, leverage policy proposals to align and vote on key decisions. 5, collaborate and add value to projects via quests. 6, engage your community like never before. 7, reach consensus with upvote election. 8, validate decisions via community proposals. And 9, build and scale ecosystems via Ecosystem as a Service, EAAS. And then finally, feature 10, explore and find opportunities in DAO networks. So very exciting list of features. And if you want to learn more, I encourage you to check out the article. All right, wrapping up today's show, wanted to share a quick update from our favorite metaverse game, Upland Go Carts are live. So for those of you playing Upland, you got some go-karts to play around with. And also another news is applications to become a UDN Pro are now open. So UDN stands for Upland's Developer Program. And now you can apply to be UDN Pro, and there's some benefits that come from that. Basically, real quickly here. In June 2022, Upland released the alpha version of its developer tool and announced the Upland Developers Program. Unique in its strategic architectural design from other leading metaverses, Upland does not require developers to build exclusively on Upland using the Upland tech stack. Rather, Upland allows any developers, Web 2 or Web 3, to either connect their existing game/metaspace to the Upland ecosystem or to build a new experience using their preferred tech stack. Through the APIs, developers can enjoy the many benefits of being part of the Upland platform, including discoverability, context, virtual locality, the existing economy and payment infrastructure, easy creation of NFTs with blockchain obfuscation, and most importantly, the opportunity to connect to the amazing Upland community. So that gives you a quick overview of what the UDN Pro program is all about. The N stands for, I don't know, Upland? The N in Upland, I guess.
It's to say that you are part of the network Upland, the N.
There you go.
As network, that's very logical.
Very logical. Thank you, Patrick, for this very logical explanation. Dave Rex asking, what is Spark? Spark is a special currency that allows you to stake it in order to build all sorts of cool things in the Upland metaverse. If you want to learn more about all of these things, I encourage you to watch one of the recent Firesides where Edan, the co-CEO of Upland, joined us on the Fireside. And actually, if you're looking for past episodes of the Fireside, quick reminder, you can find them on the EOS Network Foundation YouTube channel under the live tab. So they're not going to be listed under the videos tab because these are not uploaded. These are streamed live to the platform. So you can find them under the live tab or in the Fireside playlist. All right, that wraps it up for my topics for today. So let's open up the mic here to the community. Still over 80 people in the chat. What's up? That's awesome. So if you have any updates you want to share, questions, comments, whatever it is, now's the time to do it. Join me on stage. Very cool. Yana sharing a screenshot of the purple dots on the Upland map, which are dev shops. They're third-party applications, games, and experiences tied directly to the Upland metaverse. Very cool. All right, and for some off-topic banter for today, big news in the crypto world. Tether, makers of the USDT, have announced that they're going to be investing up to 15% of their profits in buying Bitcoin for their reserves, which I think is a very cool news. And basically, the way Tether is profitable is that all these dollars that they hold in custody in order to mint USDT on chain, well, they make investments with those dollars. A lot of it is US treasuries, bonds, etc. And so they're now using the interest that the US government is paying them in order to buy Bitcoin, which I think is very poetic and awesome. So not only is Tether enabling all this stablecoin economy to grow and flourish on the blockchain, which brings competition to the fiat dollars, they're also now using the interest payment paid by the government to them to buy more Bitcoin, which is great.
It's so with like the hawkish Fed right now, with all the interest rates going up, that is kind of one of the benefits. I noticed like on my Robinhood account and my PayPal account, all of a sudden they're offering like 4.6% interest rates with no basically savings accounts. Whereas like with my actual bank, it's like a fraction of a percent, but there's interest rates available, and Tether has, billions and billions of dollars. So it adds up to a significant amount if they're getting anywhere between a 4 to 5. I don't know what percent interest rates they're able to get, but that's a lot of money. If I was reading an article the other day, and it was kind of comparing that if like Tether was a bank and you just calculate like how much capital that they have on hand, they would be like one of the top like funds in or banks, I guess, in the world. I can't remember where they would rank. It was like top 10. Like no one has more money than Tether.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I used to be very afraid of Tether. I used to think it was going to blow up at any time and it would bring down the whole crypto space. Patrick is sharing my feelings here, saying he's afraid, saying the balloons are inflating. But turns out that Tether's been doing very well. They've never depegged longer for just a short amount of time. And now they're buying Bitcoin with their excess reserves, which is great. So yeah, shout out to Paulo, the CTO, I think, of Bitfinex. I know he's been very friendly with EOS. He supported EOS in the early days of EOS, and so he definitely an ally of our community. Hey Bjorn, yes, you can definitely give a short update from the Lost Diamond. Absolutely, join me on stage whenever you're ready. Maybe I should server unmute you. That may help.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go.
Can you hear me well, or?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome.
Okay, nice. I will try to publish a few pictures. Just give me a few seconds. So first, this is the on June 10th, we will host the Lost Diamond Adventure Race in the main capital of Norway, Oslo. And we have done this this is the 4th time. We started with this in 2020. And we have had 1,500 users since 2020. I think it will be awesome. So if you are in Norway, you are welcome to join. I will fix you some free tickets. This year, I know that the SEC version in Norway will attend, and also the Norwegian tax administration. We also have some celebrities, and we are aiming for 500 participants. So this is very exciting. And also a kind of a strategy to onboard people to the Lost Diamond Global Race. So I hope you like it. And also, I need another picture. This is from our YouTube channel. So I think during the last 2 months, we have published about 30 videos and about 50,000 views. But the main thing is that we have 69.7 average percentage viewed, and that is very great. So people are definitely watching our content. So I will try to publish more videos, try to combine it with my ordinary job to see how it works, but that is also very exciting to see that the numbers or the analytics from the statistics shows that we have a product that I think will engage people. Also, I want to a short suggestion for a grant, a model maybe. Not sure if you can see the pictures that I was adding. No.
Oh, I think you're sharing the pictures in the wrong chat. Are you adding them to the general chat?
Maybe you can see any of them, or?
No, they're not in the general chat. They're not in the voice chat. Where are you posting? Oh, there we go.
Okay. This is my first time, so.
No problem. No problem. It looks like you found the voice chat text channel though.
Yeah. So this one, the next one. So this is such a suggestion because I think it's a little hard to, or the community is a little very tech oriented. I think it's super important that we start to focus on getting the first 1 million plus users. And the grant framework is a little complicated and maybe not suited for 1 million plus users projects. Pomelo is fantastic, but I think the funds that we need is a little limited in that area. So what about if we can create a grant fund framework for 1 million plus million users incubators grant program, where that is open for projects that aim for 1 million users, that we have weekly group meetings, where we use objective key results to track results and really focus on project that has the potential to onboard millions of users. So, maybe I just need to, I guess you can see my short sketch for something like this.
Yes, we could see. I can see the pictures. 1,500 users since 2020. That's very, very impressive. Actually, that's awesome. Next event is in Norway on Saturday, June 11th. And then we see your suggestion to create a 1 million plus monthly active users incubator grant program. Very cool. I see Eve and Zack are still on the call, so they're probably, I don't know if they're still listening or not. But for sure, I will make sure to ping them about that. Make sure they're aware of your idea. I think it's a cool idea. I don't know if it's going to be implemented or not. But either way, thank you very much for joining the Fireside and sharing your updates. And glad to see that the Lost Diamond races are still ongoing. It had been a while since we'd heard from you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, great. Anyone else want to share some updates? Say hi to the community. Now's the time. Talk about how Tether is going to destroy our industry, whatever it is.
Real quick, I just wanted to ask, when is that event in Norway? Did you say what the date was?
June 11th.
No. Saturday, June the 10th.
Oh, okay. Coming up fast, right?
The graphic says Saturday, June 11th. Error. All good.
It's a Saturday.
There you go. Saturday, June 10th. All right, Dave Rex likes FUD. Zack thinks people don't want to hear his FUD. What else is going on here in the community? Block 1 is shady. Yeah. What else? Nova Crypto promoting his next Antelope Workshop number 20. May 23rd, 6 interviews. China update? Is that Chintai update? Or is that really China update? I'm not sure. Maybe Patrick, you can
Hello, Stephane.
Yes, Patrick. Hello, welcome. Promote your events.
Yeah, absolutely. So next Tuesday, 23rd at 15:30 UTC, China Update 1, that's with Beatrice Wang, Community Manager of ENF for the China part. A nice interview breakdown. The UX Network Update number 1, it's with Guillaume of EOS Titan, so of the UX Network, GNOME. Yield Plus is update number 2 with Denis Carrière of EOS Nation and leader of the Yield Plus. We cover Yield Plus, EOS EVM, explaining how it's going with Yield Plus. EOS Bees update number 6 with Jesse Jaffe and what is going on with the bees. Shout out to Jesse. We have an hidden fractal update number 6 also with Dancing Joy, Tadas Veitikunas, and a surprise during this interview. And we have an EOS Digital Extended Network, EOS DIN in short, update number 2 with Vlad, Lenar of CTF and CAC, and myself to unveil about EOS DIN. We are launching at end of May, officially the phase 1, and we explain that there. So I hope you will enjoy this Antilopsis workshop number 20, and a lot of novelties on this one with some AI, some nice article on Bywire and all that in conjunction with the bees. So shout out to Jesse and to every guest on this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Looking forward to these great interviews. All right, lots of Star Wars memes coming in. Oh, some Yoda fire hose memes coming in from Daniel Keys and the Pinax team. We'll be talking more about that on some upcoming Fireside discussions. All right, anyone else have anything they want to share? If not, it's been exactly 2 hours. We're going to wrap it up soon.
I'll just reiterate something Stephane said earlier, which is play around in the EVM, EOS EVM, and tell us what you're finding and what dApps you're interested in, and what your experience is like. Next week, come back. That's your homework assignment from yours truly. Let us know what you find out there. There's a lot going on. It's hard to track it all, and more to come on that front.
Yeah, it would be nice to have someone write a nice article recapping a lot of the products that are available on the EOS EVM.
Yeah, it's in the works. But
there you go. Soon.
Collection and ingestion mode right now. So
there you go. So you got some projects. Send them Brandon's way. Make sure your project is included in this upcoming article.
That actually brings up a good point. So we shared the link. Brandon, can you find the link while I'm talking for the intake form?
Yeah.
We started posting it mostly to capture EOS EVM projects because they're kind of popping up, new wallet integrations and things happening like a couple every week. But we still haven't seen submissions from a lot of the OG EOS projects. And I'd really like to encourage projects that have been around to also submit to the new web intake form. It'll help us get a point of contact with your project. It'll help with the short description for our ecosystem page, and also have a copy of your logo because there's some graphics we would like to create that will require a lot of the ecosystem logos, and it just saves a lot of time and risk of getting the wrong logos. So anyone on this call who has a project, whether it's a wallet, a tool, or an actual application on the blockchain, please submit your project information through the web form on the ecosystem page on the website, or I guess you can click the link once Brandon shares it in the chat.
And the link that you want me to drop in here is the Powered by EOS Google form one, or the web page?
The ecosystem intake form.
Ecosystem intake form. Oh, Val, thank you, Val. Ta-da! Yep. Fill it out so we know.
Actually, one more thing I forgot.
Includes you, Pomelo.
The EOS EVM webinar. We were supposed to get Nathan back on.
Oh, snap.
But I think I forgot to re-invite him on. And now
Oh no.
And he's gone.
I was coming express for that. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Oh no.
It's all good. It's tomorrow. It'll be recorded. So if you can't make it live, everyone will be able to catch the replay. Obviously, you won't be able to interact with the host during it, but we'll make sure we share it far and wide right before it starts as a reminder. And then afterwards, once it's on the public link.
Good job.
There you go. Yeah, event is tomorrow, 11 a.m. And you can follow the link that I just shared up there to register. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. Last call for anyone. If not, we're going to do our standard sign off.
I got something that's not Tether FUD related, if you can hear me.
There we go. We can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, so it turned out earlier I was on my phone and I just got my phone de-Googled. I put Lineage on it with micro G and I had the mic disabled. So that explained why I couldn't chime in with my Tether FUD. But this isn't Tether FUD. I was actually curious what you guys think about the latest Ledger Recover stuff. Like that we've been talking about internally quite a bit today. I'd just be interested to know what the community thinks.
So I was kind of scared and annoyed and wondering if I have to buy new hardware wallets now after reading the news from yesterday. But then earlier, right before the Fireside, actually, I saw another tweet thread about someone that was saying that it's actually probably not as big of a deal as everyone is making it out to be. And basically, the point was, I wish I still had the tweet thread, but the point is that if you want your hardware wallet to be upgradable with firmware updates to support new blockchains or support new, algorithms and all that, then it needs to be updatable, which means that, basically the feature that they're releasing is it's not necessarily anything new from what I understand, or like that's always been a possibility based on the fact that you can upgrade your hardware wallet. So if you want your hardware wallet to be non-upgradable, you can't get out from it absolutely under no circumstances. That means if ever the algorithms change or a new blockchain is, you want to support, you'd have to buy a new hardware wallet. So that was kind of the latest I got on that situation. I may be not understanding it all completely accurately, but that's my take on it so far. Wondering what your Zach, what the conversations have been around, and kind of any action items that you've decided based on this new information.
Well, yeah, I was curious what other, the community here thought, but I think that it's a whole big nothing burger as well. So the Ledger, it's got a hardware security module and a little microcontroller, and there shouldn't be so I think people are upset because they said there's no way to get the private keys off, and now they're like, there's a way to get the private keys off. I think it's a bit misleading because what they probably meant is there's no way to get the raw private key off. And what they're getting off here is a version of the private key that was split with something called Shamir secret sharing. It's like, I don't know, splitting your house key into 3 parts, I guess. And then I'm sure they're encrypting that to the 3 entities that are controlling the keys and then sending them over the internet. So you're not really getting your private key off in plain text. And I think that, I'll share that, like, unwisely. I'll share that I use ledgers, and I'm not really concerned about this at all. I think that I wouldn't use this product personally, but that's because one of my threat actors is like the government, for example. So the government could subpoena these 3 entities for their 3 pieces. And if an attacker got all 3 pieces, be it the government or someone else, they would be able to get your secret key. I don't know where these 3 entities reside legally, like what jurisdictions they're in. If I designed it, I'd design it differently. But I think it's...
Could you pause there for a second?
Yeah.
Well, like, how is that any less secure than the government just subpoenaing you for your private key?
Well, so I'm in the United States, so what applies to me might not apply to the rest of you, but the government can't subpoena me for my private key because it's something I know, so it would violate the 5th Amendment.
Well, so you're saying, okay, but anyone that's actually got a recorded copy, it wouldn't make any difference, like, functionally, because...
Yeah,
it actually would be harder to subpoena 3 different individuals to get the secret as opposed to dealing with just one person.
And it's true. And it depends where in the world they are. Like if one of them's in Panama, like good luck, they're not going to get it. And so if I designed the system, I would have made it any 3 of 5, and I would have made sure at least 2 of the entities are in Panama. And I would have also allowed you to make sure that you can choose who your counterparties are. So I would have set it up. This is what they should have done. They should have set it up where anyone else with a ledger could be one of your 5 counterparties. So like if your mom has a ledger, she could be one of your recovery entities. They didn't do that. That's on them. They want to make money off this, so it's a paid service. But I mean, I'm not going to use it, but it is a good service for I think it's a good service for people who are afraid of doing self-custody because they're afraid of losing their keys, and the government's not a really big threat actor to them, which frankly is most people. So it's like the same people that are up in arms about them adding this service are the same people that are on Twitter like, well, how do we get normal people to use crypto? And this is how.
Right.
And now there is echo.
Yeah, that was pretty priceless, the timing of the echo.
Was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a security expert, and I don't even play one on TV, but when I first heard about this, the timing was really weird, first of all. I mean, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. The timing was very weird, but I just thought, well...
Why was the timing weird?
I don't know, where the ledger discussion is at. Zach.
Yeah, why was it weird?
Yeah, why was it weird?
Well, we were just talking about ledger. For various reasons.
About the update for the EOS integration into the ledger that is going to be released soon.
Yeah, I didn't know.
That one. Oh, now I remember that call we had the other day.
Right. Yeah, it was like right after that, and all of a sudden there was all this FUD about ledger. I was like, what the hell? Like, for years, no one said anything weird about ledger, to my knowledge, and like not in a big way. And all of a sudden there was all this like stuff being thrown on ledger for this feature, I guess, that they were rolling out. But yeah, when I heard about it, I mean, like, we were having a conversation with a friend of mine in consensus about how to split up your key to give it to multiple people in the event that you were to die, and then your funds would be able to be recovered if they all had like a piece of your key. And I thought, when I saw this announcement from Ledger, I was like, oh, cool, like an option, for people that maybe aren't super tech savvy but can figure out how to use a ledger. But anyway.
I think the biggest thing this brings up, that is kind of funny about the timing with the EOS app, but I think the biggest thing this brings up is like, we need more transparency in this space. And so I've always like disliked Trezor because Trezor claimed for many, many years, like over half a decade, that you don't actually need a hardware security module, sometimes also called a secure element or a TPM. And I think that's not the right way to approach the problem. So I didn't personally use Trezors. They just rely on their software being good, which I write software all day. So, and my software sucks. So I know that's not a good security model, but they have started this thing called Tropic Square, which is like an open source hardware security module where you could see at the lowest level what these things are doing. So the people who are like paranoid about Ledger being able to split up your key and send it out to these other people, I don't think that's realistic. I'm not worried about it, but I do think it brings up a good point, which is that we should be demanding devices that are open, like completely open, where we can validate that nobody can do whatever it is you're concerned about.
My Twitter feed has been bombarded today by various hardware wallets trying to highlight the fact that the keys can't leave those hardware wallets, etc. A couple of them are actually open source. I've got a buddy that's of mine that's gonna be looking into doing more research and potentially, diversifying away from only using ledgers, which is probably a good thing for the entire space, actually. Imagine the carnage if there's a bug or something on Ledger for all the people that are using ledgers out there.
Can you share some of the devices you're looking into?
Yeah, let me just open up Twitter and see what ads they'll show me this time.
I don't know about reading ads, but it was going to be an open question to everyone. Like, I'm just curious what devices you guys like or use or are interested in. And I mean, I can share one. Like, I'm interested in Arculus. So I went to Bitcoin Miami last year and they handed out these hardware wallets at a hardware wallet talk. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to use a hardware wallet that was just given to me at a crypto conference. That would be kind of silly. But I was like, maybe I can use it for multi-sig. So they sat on my desk for a year, and then I saw them at Consensus 2023, and they're pretty cool. Like, I talked to their head product manager. I brought over a tool that you could use to read the data out of credit cards when you do the tap to pay. I tried to steal the secrets out of their Arculus. They let me do it. They were really cool about it. They were like, this might destroy the card because it will detect that an attack is taking place and like burn an AFUs. And I couldn't get any data off the card. And they let me do it. They were just like willing to burn their little $70 card. But I think that's pretty cool. It's like a 3-factor thing. They got a PIN code, a biometric, and then the physical card, which hashtag not an ad. They didn't pay me to do this, but that's the, like, if I had to switch from my Ledger today, if I found out that this like was a really big deal, that's probably what I'd look at switching to, just because they gave me some free ones. So I think that's cool. But like, what do you guys like? What do you guys use?
Yeah, so these are the two here that my friend shared in our private group, Foundation and Grid Plus. So he's going to be doing some more research in there, and then yeah. If he comes back with some good recommendations, maybe I'll share on the next Fireside. Anyone else have some hardware wallets maybe they've heard of? Drop a link.
Well, I don't have a hardware wallet that I want to talk about, but I am curious about one other talking point that has been coming up frequently in these Twitter threads that I'm seeing. Which, I mean, maybe I don't know how frequently it's coming up, but somebody was basically saying hardware wallets are, a relic. He's like, with WebAuthn, you can basically, or, some sort of like native iPhone security, maybe like Secure Enclave or something. You can just use your device. They're basically saying just you use your device or you use, something software related. Zack, do you have any comments on that?
I don't. I mean, I do support that idea. So, like, I do support using HSMs on your phone because we all have phones and they all have HSMs, so it's free and you have one. But the problem
is an HSM.
I'm sorry, guys. A hardware security module. It just means a little crypto chip that's physically inside the device. Usually HSMs are designed to where if you try to like break open your phone to get it out, it would physically destroy the chip. So it's supposed to be secure. And it's the same thing as like the little chip in your credit card or the little chip in a ledger or any of those things. But there was one that I thought was really cool, which I also shared in the internal Telegram, which is like when I went to Bitcoin Miami, there was someone from Square. I'll look up her name because I've got notes, but there was someone from Square, like Block, the payment one that gives you the little free magnetic reader if you sign up. And they were talking about one that they had where you had 3 keys. So they held 1 key, and you had 1 key on your phone in your phone's like secure element or whatever, secure enclave, like whatever you have. And then it was one on a physical card, like the Arculus that you tap to the back of your phone if you wanted to use it. And you only needed any 2 to recover them. So like if your phone got stolen or if your wallet got stolen, you could recover your account and like get a 3rd card. And then for very small amounts of spend, like you could set it yourself to whatever you want, but like $200, whatever, it would only require 1 key. So you could just use your phone to spend the money, like in your app. But if you wanted to do large spends, like sweeping your account, you'd have to use 2 of the 3 keys, like basically tap into the card to the back of your phone. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't mean to like shill Block or Square or anything, because I don't necessarily like that company. But I thought that was a really cool idea, but I haven't seen them come out with it yet.
There's one other topic. It's kind of unrelated to this. It's security related topic, but it just popped into my brain because it was a conversation that came up internally. And I know you weighed in on this, Zack, and I thought it was super fascinating. The idea that the Satoshi Bitcoin out there, someone was asserting that basically the day that sophisticated enough, quantum computer comes online or is able to be deployed by somebody that's like a $28 billion honeypot, like waiting. It's like a bounty, so like that's when that Bitcoin gets grabbed by some, future quantum attacker, we'll know that, it'll be like the way that we know that quantum computing is here, essentially. I thought that was just a really interesting idea, whether or not, I think you made a counter argument to that, Zack, but let you lay that out if you want.
Yeah.
Or even present the argument I just made in a completely, like a better way.
I'd love to, and I'd love to share the video that brought it up too, or I guess I don't remember what brought up the last discussion, but the second to last discussion I brought up because of this great Veritasium video on how close we are actually to quantum computing. I'll see if I can find that for the chat. But yeah, the argument was that someone else made was that we would know. So there's the other person said that, and I don't want to call anyone out, so I'm just going to call him the other person. But the other person said that like we would know if someone developed quantum supremacy capable of breaking an algorithm like Bitcoin, because there's in their words, $21 billion reward, right? Like there's $21 billion of locked up old Satoshi coins that they could just move, and then we would know that they moved them and that like quantum supremacy has been achieved. And like what I was like, well, how would we know? Like, how would we know that's not a legitimate transaction? What if Satoshi just decided to withdraw his, her, their money, whatever, and move their money? Like, there would be no way to tell the difference between a legitimate and illegitimate transaction. I mean, even if like someone had quantum supremacy, let's say they stole all my coins, and then I came on the Fireside, I came on Twitter, I came on Reddit. I don't have a Twitter, but I came on Reddit, whatever. I'm like, guys, all my money got stolen. Like, why would you guys believe me? Like, you would just think that like I did something stupid and got hacked somehow, which is totally possible. So if there was quantum supremacy, we would never know. And that's why I think it's so important to make algorithms quantum resistant.
So you're saying we won't be able to know the difference between, like, say, Satoshi moving the Bitcoin versus quantum hack, essentially. So I guess we have to rely on the future quantum hacker to leave a cheeky memo telling us that they've done it. That's my request to the future quantum hacker. But then we don't know whether they're telling the truth. So I don't know.
Definitely optimal for them to keep it secret and just decrypt everything they want and become ungodly rich before they reveal this secret.
That's the thing. I don't think it'd be for money, right? Because like that was their point. It's like, well, for $21 billion, like let's say I work at the U.S. government, which, but let's say I work at like the NSA, and they would never accept me. But let's say I work at the NSA, and they've got this crazy quantum computer, and it could break EOS and Bitcoin and all this other stuff. Their philosophy was that I would move that money and run away with $21 billion, which I don't know where that number came from. I'll just assume it's right. But like, why? First of all, why would I do that? Because the government is going to make an example out of you, and that, like, I don't know that you can really run that way these days. And second of all, they're not going to use it to steal money. They're going to use it to steal secrets. Like that's what they're going to do. The only way we'll find out about this is when like 2 or 3 other countries also have it, and then it will become obvious somehow. It's my opinion.
Secrets, which you then sell for money. But
probably better off selling the secrets than you are selling the. Like trying to actually unload the stolen Bitcoin.
Yeah.
True.
But I mean, the world would instantly devolve into chaos if there's no encryption available anymore.
So,
like what Drew said that Craig Wright is the first person to get a quantum computer, and so that's how he's going to prove that he's Satoshi. I agree. And Stephane laughs uncomfortably because now his YouTube channel is going to get sued.
It's not my YouTube channel. I'm just the host here.
Hashtag not my YouTube channel. Huh. Interesting. Well, so how far? I mean, what is quantum resistant? Is that even? Do we even know like how to make something quantum resistant?
Yeah. There's a bunch of really hard problems for quantum computers to solve. Check out that video. They explain it. It's very technical. It's a very technical video, but they do explain how an algorithm could be quantum resistant. And so in their example showed how you break RSA, which is not what EOS or Bitcoin uses, but it's similar. And then they show like how you could use matrices to defeat quantum computers and make it like hard to solve that problem. So there are algorithms that people smarter than me have figured out that just aren't susceptible to quantum computers. And there's already quantum resistant chains. Like the easiest example is QRL, quantum resistant ledger. Like that was their whole sales pitch when they made their little layer 1 chain, is that we're quantum resistant. Other chains have baked in quantum resistant algorithms, which I guess I should have some examples, but I don't. So you should do that though.
Yeah, something to look into. Cool. Thanks.
All right. Some good off-topic banter. Thank you, Zack, for once again leading some interesting conversations here at the tail end of these fireside chats.
Thank you.
Last call for more. Yeah, absolutely. Last call for some more off-topic banter, or else we're going to call it a day.
Yeah, I'm selling hardware wallets. You can just send me your private keys, put it in a box, and bury it.
Sick.
From $29.90.
Lots of money for this service?
Yeah, only $29.95, and
per day.
There's like a fee for the digging the hole, but other than that, then it depends on where you want me to bury it and everything. We can negotiate.
I've been sharing an interesting spot to bury keys in the chat today. I'm not gonna repeat it out loud though. All right. On that very fun note, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for joining this week's Fireside Chat. Still over 60 people in the chat. 2.5 hours later. What's up? That's awesome. Thank you to all our guest speakers today. Thank you to all our contributors, and thank you to everyone who joined us. Hope you have a good day, and we'll be back at it again next week. Until then, let's go EOS!
Go EOS!
Yeah, baby, yeah.